G'day guys, back with the Outer Circle, and I put up a poll asking which particular topic you would like me to do a video on next, and, well, two of the answers really stuck out. One was my personal pick for a miniature of the year, and that's what this video will be on. The other was, I said something very bad has happened, and I didn't elaborate on it. Well, that very bad thing is nothing to do with me personally, but it's something that Games Workshop actually has decided to discontinue, which has huge ramifications. So I will make a video for that, maybe later today, probably tomorrow my time. Anyway, miniatures of the year. So they run this contest, geez, since I was a kid they've run this contest. And you used to have to actually mail in vote in stores and stuff. That was, what a time to be alive. Anyway, you have to pick what is the model of the year, and there was a lot of trash produced at Games Workshop this year, because inevitably, if you release a ton of stuff, not all of it's going to be a hit, let's be honest. But there is also a lot of really good stuff that came out this year. So we'll have a bit of a look at both as we go through this. I'll keep this relatively short. But when we go into Model of the Year, we have some interesting options in here. For example, the Warhammer Age of Sigmar Thondian Strongpoint terrain, including Kronspine, Incarnate of Ghur, Cleansing Aquilith, and Megadroth remains. That is not a model. That is a product, or a product range, in a way. And we see a lot of that. Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, Age of Darkness box game, Mark 6 Tactical Squad, Praetor with Sword, Praetor with Axe, Contemptor, Spartan. Like, are we voting for products as a whole? Like, how well do they manage to release for range? Because if it's going to be the Horus Heresy here, and then it's a release of the year, right? Not a model of the year. And we'd have to include things like, well, why have you got the Kratos as its own thing, for example? Kratos is ugly anyway. But it'll get votes because, I don't know, people have their own personal tastes. You know, and what I find ugly, some of you will find amazing and you'll hate me for it. But that's fine. We're allowed to disagree, guys. So there's a lot to look through here, but really, someone got lazy and just hit cut paste on the old, what did we make this year? And they just put it in, they didn't go through and list out the individual releases. Just a nitpick, but, you know, a bit of attention to detail, guys. So I came across 40k. I have not given out my opinion really on this range, the Leagues of Votann. There's a reason. I think the entire range is trash with no redeeming qualities. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got to say on that. I don't intend to do a video on it. I don't intend to do anything with them. They suck. Alright, Chaos. Now, Chaos, I think they really knocked it out of the park this year. I even did a video the last month or two just saying, like, wow, they have really done a good job with the Chaos releases. Yeah, there's some that I'm not a huge fan of. The Accursed Cultists, for example, I don't think look good. Too cartoonish. The Chaos Cultists themselves look fine, but I wasn't in the mood for more of that type of cultist. I wanted to see a Traitor Guard fleshed out faction. You know, a proper cult that's indoctrinated Imperial Army troops, or Imperial Guard, Astra Militarum, whatever you want to call them, troops into the cult, as well as just, I don't know, hobos with shotguns. And that was my big criticism of it. The Dark Commune is fine. Again, random tentacles and stuff just does nothing for me. I find those cartoonish elements. I am very much more into galactic and cosmic horror, you know, a bit of like Cthulhu mythos, that kind of thing. You know, give me some classic Robert E. Howard type stuff. All of that, cool. But I don't like the cartoonish elements of it, but everyone's got their own taste. But on the whole, I think they did a really good job this year. The releases that we got tied in pretty well with previous releases, like the Chosen look like they belong. The Possessed, they're about as good as Games Workshop Possessed are going to ever be. Forge World's Gal Vorbak probably set the gold standard. You know, they set the bar very high, and matching that bar is quite hard when it comes to the universe of 40k and matching the rest of the styles and making it fit in. I am very overseeing Primaris Marines everywhere, especially on bases of Chaos Space Marines, like Killer Firstborn. for once. It makes it very annoying, especially because if I want to use some of those models and convert them as like a late heresy thing for Horus Heresy, well, instead of it being like Trueborn, Firstborn, whatever you want to call them, Space Marines, and relatively easy to convert, I have to take a lot of extra effort now in choosing my parts and converting them in order to make them 30k. You know, trophy racks on Terminators are a good example. Where's Abaddon, actually? He's a really good one to pick. Because Abaddon, you can see right in the middle of his trophy rack, there's just a Primaris helmet there. And he's standing on a Primaris Lieutenant, of course. Yet another Primaris Lieutenant sculpt. But Trueborn helmets, you know, it's something that fits in better, that you can use these parts across multiple game ranges. I'm just sick of seeing Primaris everywhere, and I really don't think they're as popular with the community. It's starting to feel very try-hard to me, like they're trying so hard to get us to like them and to think they're cool, and we really don't. I think most people who are into them just like the fact that they're bigger than regular old-school Marines, and I think if you made a Mark 8 Space Marine or a Mark 7 Power Armored Space Marine at the same size as a Primaris Marine and re-released it, with the similar sort of posing, so the more upright leg pose instead of the big wide stance, it would sell really, really well over the tactical, quote-unquote, Primaris. And, you know, that range is still lacking so much when it comes to things like jump packs, and at least they got bikes, but no Terminators, you know, just so much rich ground they're going to milk. But yeah, they did a great job with Chaos. I also noticed down the bottom here, the Fallen. Yeah, that's interesting. So the Fallen here, you know what? They still, as their promo art, have just photoshopped. They didn't even Photoshop it to black. They picked like some weird shade of purple. Just key out all the green, make it purple. And when they keyed it out, it changed the background fade off a little bit. Laziness. Now, what do I think will win Model of the Year? I think this will win the Model of the Year, and it is not my pick for Model of the Year, but I do think it's a very good choice. But previous years, we've seen a lot of single centerpiece models win. In fact, I think if we go back here, you can see some of the previous winners. What have we got? Magnus, Mortarion, Noise Marine. Oh, that's an interesting one. Maybe Goth Rocker's in with a chance. Abaddon, yeah. Ghazghkull, yeah. Be'lakor. A lot of these are also fan favourites. Like, people like Be'lakor, they like Abaddon for some reason. Ghazghkull, all cool dudes, right? And a lot of them are big centerpiece models for your army. And Magnus, I think, is still an awful model, but again, opinions. I think the Avatar, therefore, is the one they are going to pick as a community because there is a huge love for it. The model was so old, it needed a resculpt desperately. The model is from the mid-90s, I think 1994 or something, the Avatar of Khaine. In fact, I have a White Dwarf that I was actually reading, and in that White Dwarf, I think it was the Inquisitor release, 54mm Inquisitor release back from 99, 2000-ish. And I was just reading it like yesterday or the day before. And in there they were talking about how they were releasing new Carnifex or something. Or that there was some new model coming out. And they're like, this is bigger than, it towers over even the Eldar Avatar. Like, that was their measurement once upon a time for how big a model was. And so, yeah, Avatar of Khaine, I think that will win Model of the Year. Personally, I just think the flames and the tactical rock on the base, totally unnecessary embellishments. I hear you can remove quite a bit of it, so it's not the end of the world, but those things detract from it. But there are two particular models here, or particular sets of sculpts, that I think they just nailed and they need to be praised for, because they're really heading in the right direction, whoever sculpted them. So I'll give you my number 2 pick, and then I'll give you my number 1. My number 2 pick is going to be Elrond, Master of Rivendell. This model is gorgeous. He is absolutely gorgeous. And the banner is great too. But this is everything you want to be seeing. This has the detail, and it's got these it's really going back to more of a classic style. It doesn't have these really sharp edges everywhere all over the cloak, where it's almost made up of hexagonal shapes and polygons. It's a smooth, flowing cloak. You know, the armor itself is smooth, it's organic. The smooth, flowing shapes of the armor on the model, gorgeous. Even the face, it's well done. It's not some potato head like we've seen quite a lot of lately. The hair looks great. The horse itself, beautiful. Same again on foot. Yeah, okay. The painting style on the face might be a bit high contrast, we'll call it. But nothing wrong with that. They're just bringing out the detail. I think this is a perfect representation of the character from the films. And I also really like what they did with the banner here. If they are sculpting a new plastic high elf range and they're going to do it to this standard, because they would have to, right? The current range is from, I think, August 2001. So, getting up there in years. Then, yeah, if it's this quality and this person is sculpting them, fantastic. Whoever did it, your work is excellent. You deserve the praise. Now, the second pick for my favourite model of the year is actually a Forge World model, and it's another Lord of the Rings one, Glorfindel. This model, I'm pretty sure came out this year, I'll give it that caveat, but that is perfect. Utterly perfect. I don't know who sculpted it, but you, sir or ma'am, you have earned praise. Because there's almost nothing I could pick on with this, even if I wanted to, like, find something, which I don't in particular. You have got so much right here, it's not funny. Just detail in the face, the armor, the little weave patterns on the cloaks and tabards, the smooth flowing lines, the beautiful pose of the horse, even just the fact that they've done something different with the pose. It's not just another hero riding on a horse holding a sword up in the air. He's actually having a backswing, taking the backswing with the sword as he's and swing on the left hand side. That is a different pose, something unique. And same with on foot, the sword held over the shoulder, sort of samurai style. You know, getting a lot of East Asian vibes here with the combat poses. Not that Western HEMA martial arts and all that don't have it, but you know what I'm going with this, guys. It's something so different. And when we've had so many models lately that have the exact same bland and boring poses, to have a person not only sculpted a gorgeous model, but posed both it and the mounted version spectacularly is just a godsend. And you know, this is the stuff I love about the hobby. I love seeing. And if every release was this good, you'd never hear a thing out of this channel. I'd just be making battle reports and doing a hobby vlogs, okay? But unfortunately, it's not panned out that way. But yeah, so Elrond is the model I picked for my personal Games Workshop model of the year. I think the Avatar of Khaine will win it. There's just too much going in its favour. It's big, it's a centerpiece model, huge following, long overdue, and again, look at the competition in the previous years, Magnus, Mortarion, with the exception of everyone but the Noise Marine, really. They're all big leaders, established names in the Heresy, established names in Warhammer history, so that's where the betting man money is, the Avatar. But, you know, props to, if someone watches this and you work at Games Workshop or Forge World, you know the people who sculpted Elrond and Glorfindel, let me know. If you please, I would love to personally know the name and congratulate them on their work, but pass on from me to them. Well done, just well done. Anyway, that's it. Mac with the Outer Circle. Thank you very much for watching the episode, and I'll catch you all on the next one.